the endocrine system. Direct hormones directly stimulate organs. Tropic hormones stimulate other glands. Mechanisms of hormone action. Peptides act via second messengers, and steroids act via hormone or receptor binding to DNA. Amino acid derivative hormones may do either. Hormone, follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH. Source, anterior pituitary. Action, stimulates follicle maturation, spermatogenesis. Hormone, luteinizing hormone, LH. Source, anterior pituitary. Action, stimulates ovulation, testosterone synthesis. Hormone, adrenocorticotropic, ACTH. Source, anterior pituitary. Action, stimulates adrenal cortex to make and secrete glucocorticoids. Hormone, thyroid-stimulating hormone, TSH. Source, anterior pituitary. Action, stimulates the thyroid to produce thyroid hormones. Hormone, prolactin. Source, anterior pituitary. Action, stimulates milk production and secretion. Hormone, endorphins. Source, anterior pituitary. Action, inhibits the perception of pain in the brain. Hormone, growth hormone. Source, anterior pituitary. Action, stimulates bone and muscle growth, lipolysis. Hormone, oxytocin. Source, hypothalamus, stored in posterior pituitary. Action, stimulates uterine contractions during labor, milk secretion during lactation. Hormone, antidiuretic, ADH, vasopressin. Source, hypothalamus, stored in posterior pituitary. Action, stimulates water reabsorption in kidneys. Hormone, thyroid hormones, T3, T4. Source, thyroid. Action, stimulates metabolic activity. Hormone, calcitonin. Source, thyroid. Action, decreases blood calcium level. Hormone, parathyroid hormone. Source, parathyroid. Action, increases blood calcium level. Hormone, glucocorticoids. Source, adrenal cortex. Action, increases blood glucose level and decreases protein synthesis. Anti-inflammatory. Hormone, mineralocorticoids. Source, adrenal cortex. Action, increases sodium and water reabsorption in kidneys. Hormone, epinephrine, norepinephrine. Source, adrenal medulla. Action, increases blood glucose level and heart rate. Hormone, glucagon. Source, pancreas. Action, stimulates conversion of glycogen to glucose in liver. Increases blood glucose. Hormone, insulin. Source, pancreas. Action, lowers blood glucose. Increases glycogen stores. Hormone, somatostatin. Source, pancreas. Action, suppresses secretion of glucagon and insulin. Hormone, testosterone. Source, testes. Action, maintains male secondary sex characteristics. Hormone, estrogen. Source, ovary, placenta. Action, maintains female secondary sex characteristics. Hormone, progesterone. Source, ovary, placenta. Action, promotes growth and maintenance of endometrium. Hormone, melatonin. Source, pineal. Action, regulates sleep-wake cycles. Hormone, atrial natriuretic peptide. Source, heart. Action, involved in osmoregulation and vasodilation. Hormone, thymosin. Source, thymus. Action, stimulates T-cell development. 4 stages of menstrual cycle. 1. Follicular. FSH causes growth of a follicle. 2. Ovulation. LH causes follicle to release egg. 3. Luteal. Corpus luteum forms. 4. Menstruation. Endometrial lining sheds. The nervous system. The functional unit of the nervous system is the neuron. It consists of the cell body, dendrites, Schwann cells, nodes of Ranvier, the myelin sheath, the axon, and nerve terminals. Resting potential. 3 sodium ions pumped out for every 2 potassium ions pumped in. Action potential. Stimulus acts on the neuron, depolarizing the membrane of the cell body. Impulse propagation. Depolarization, sodium rushing into axon, followed by repolarization, potassium rushing out of axon along the nerve axon. The synapse. At the synaptic knob, voltage-gated calcium ion channels open, sending calcium into the cell. Vesicles fuse with presynaptic membrane, sending the neurotransmitter across the synaptic cleft. Neurotransmitter binds to receptors on the postsynaptic membrane, triggering depolarization. Nervous system consists of the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system consists of the sensory and motor systems. The motor system consists of the somatic and autonomic systems. The autonomic system consists of the parasympathetic and sympathetic systems. At stage 1, rest, all gates closed. At stage 2, depolarization, sodium gates open. At stage 3, repolarization, sodium gates inactivate, potassium gates open. At stage 4, hyperpolarization, all gates closed. The musculoskeletal system. The sarcomere, contractile unit of the fibers in skeletal muscle, contains thin actin and thick myosin filaments. Contraction, initiation. Depolarization of a neuron leads to an action potential. Sarcomere shortening. Sarcoplasmic reticulum releases calcium ions. Calcium ions bind to troponin on the actin filament. Tropomyosin shifts, exposing myosin binding sites. Myosin binds. ATPase activity allows myosin to pull thin filaments towards the center of the H zone, and then ATP causes dissociation. Relaxation. Pardon me. Relaxation. Calcium ions are pumped back into the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Bone formation and remodeling. The osteoblast builds bone. The osteoclast breaks down bone. In reformation, inorganic ions are absorbed from the blood for use in bone. In degradation or resorption, inorganic ions are released into the blood.